As a result of coronavirus, as well as the economic crisis related to it, millions of Americans have lost their health insurance coverage because, well, they've been furloughed or laid off, or businesses have closed. It's a real mess out there. And so one such person is a woman named Bev Veals. Now, Bev Veals is a 3-time cancer survivor in North Carolina. And she lost her insurance, and she didn't know what to do. So she decided to reach out to state lawmakers to see if they were actually working on doing something to help people that don't have insurance. Again, her husband was furloughed due to the coronavirus pandemic and wanted to know what happened. What would happen to her health insurance? Now, after getting in contact with Tillis's office, Veals ended up recording a phone call with one of his staffers, who basically dismissed the issue. Now, there's a video, but I can't play it due to copyright restrictions, and so I'm just going to read it to you. Quote, "You're saying that if you can't afford it, you don't get to have it, and that includes health care?" Veals asked. The staffer said this, quote, "Yeah, just like if I want to go to the store and buy a new dress shirt. If I can't afford the dress shirt, I don't get to get it." So, wait, that's your answer. Hey, man, it's like a dress shirt. If I can't afford the dress shirt, I don't get it. Okay, but that's not the same as health insurance. And so Veals says this, but healthcare is something people need, especially if they have cancer. The staffer responded, quote, "Well, you got to find a way to get it." She asked in return, "So what do I do in the meantime?" His answer is the most Republican answer ever. "Sounds like something you're going to have to figure out." Oh, you're just going to have to figure it out. I mean, what are we? What are we, your representative? We're supposed to represent you? No, we're supposed to, no, we represent the donors. And the donors are health insurance companies. And we don't give a damn about you, whether or not you die, or not. Don't really care. By the way, vote Republican. Seriously, though. He just compared healthcare, which you need to live, with a goddamn dress shirt. Which you don't need to live, right? I mean, I could live without this shirt, right? Might not look great. Have to wear a different shirt, maybe a cheaper shirt, but I could live, I could survive. But you can't survive without health care. You die without health care. It's like people with who need insulin, right? And I love that there's this supposed feel-good story, right, going around. I don't know. I don't remember who posted. It might have been CNN. Like, a child, cuts down on his insulin use in order to save father money. Like, no, if you cut down on your insulin, you'll die. You need that insulin. There's no reason why it needs to be $300 for one single vial of insulin in this country. You need it to survive. Just like you need health care when you have cancer to survive. But here's the thing. This goes back to the Republican mindset. If you can't afford it, that's tough for you, man. Sorry. Not my problem. Well, okay, well, then what do we pay you for? What do we pay you for? Well, you're supposed to be our representative. I mean, and if you're supposed to represent us, well, then the vast majority of Americans want universal health care. Shouldn't you be working on getting us that? I mean, look, both Medicare For All and a public option are incredibly popular with the American public. What, it's not popular? Insurance companies. or our current system of healthcare. Not as popular. Why? Because it treats healthcare as a commodity, and it shouldn't be. Healthcare is supposed to be something that we all are entitled to have as Americans. It is a human right. Every American should have it. But of course, since we have people like Tom Tillis and the Republican Party and corporate Democrats who like to take big money from health insurance companies to stop things like Medicare for All, that's where we don't have it. And by the way, the same the same uh, insurance companies, right, that pushed against Bernie Sanders' Medicare For All plan, right, and ran a whole bunch of ads saying, "Oh my God, look at how terrible this is. This is going to destroy your choice. We should go with Joe Biden and his plan for a public option." Those same companies are now saying, "Ooh, public option, bad, very bad. It's going to destroy healthcare." No, we should just keep everything basically the same way as it is because we're raking in all sorts of cash. That's what it is. As far as Tillis is concerned, WRAL, who had the exclusive rights to the story, went to sent Veal's video to Tillis' office, along with a request for an interview. The office responded by saying staff who spoke to Veal's was, quote, completely inappropriate, because they were being too honest, and will face immediate disciplinary action. It is very likely that action said, "Hey, stop being so honest, because you might get taped." Look, he probably got talked to, as I said before, but again, this is who Republicans are. He's got in trouble for being too honest. And that's it. That's really it. This is how they view you and your health care. So I think they can shove their non-apology, right? Veals, by the way, was not happy with this. She said, quote, "We need our legislators to listen to us and help us solve this problem because it's not just my problem, not being able to afford health care. It's the problem of hundreds of thousands of North Carolinians. And of course, not just that, but millions of Americans have a similar problem. This pandemic, and I've said this before, has laid bare one of the many issues of our healthcare system that I've talked about for years. It is both dumb and immoral and to tie healthcare to your job. I believe healthcare is a human right, and we're the only developed country in the world that has this kind of barbaric system that we punish our own people. If they lose their job, they lose their healthcare. That's insane. And look, by the way, in this country, if you do have wealth, then we've got the best healthcare in the world. But if you don't have that wealth, you lose your job, well, then you're screwed. You're SOL. That is a totally wrong system. It's a disastrous system. We have the ability, because Medicare for All, again, saves money, saves companies money, corporations save money, they save individuals money. The only ones that lose out here are the health insurance companies. And that's, of course, why they push back against it so hard. Look, Michael Bennet himself, right, who's a congressman, briefly ran for president, told the Young Turks, right, that Medicare for All is the Cadillac plan. It's the best plan that you could get. Okay. Well, then why can't we get it? Well, because the insurance companies will lose money. We could do this. We could do Medicare for All and become the envy of the world when it comes to healthcare. Not only would we have the best healthcare in the world, which we already have, if you have the money, but then everyone, every American, would be able to use it. I think that's a wonderful system. But understand that Republicans and conservatives want to keep it the way that it is. Keep it exclusionary. They don't believe that everyone has a right to health care, that there are people that are just more worthy and more deserving than others by virtue of, well, how much money they make. And that's really it. They think that people are worth more simply because they make more money. I think that's absolutely just a disgusting way to look at the world. We are backwards in this country and filled to the brim with institutional corruption. And that's why Veals and millions of people needlessly have to suffer without health care, and why Republicans, who, by the way, enjoy the best government health care that they can get, are out there basically telling you to eat shit.